Caelee Lovelight, a Latina trans woman who passionately defended her community, was shot dead in Phoenix, Arizona.
What we have are just the details that have been released, and what needs to be, kept in mind is we don't have any clue as to the intention or the motive. So keep this in mind. Caelee was found unresponsive in a car with gunshot wounds, and then a 47-year-old man was next to her in that car who also had multiple injuries. Lovelight was pronounced dead at the scene, while the other occupant of the car, who was believed to have been stabbed, died in the hospital later due to his injuries. It is the early consensus of the police at this point to draw a preliminary cause as a fight between the two of them that led to these fatal injuries.
Was it not a fight between the two of them, a fight involving the two of them, correct?
Right. It seemed to be a domestic fight, but this is where we don't have all the details. Because of the two different types of wounds, the apparent gunshot, the apparent stab wounds, there's a question of who, where, when, why, and how. So those have to be answered. But Caelee's been described by friends and others that she was very religious, very spiritual, passionately defended non-binary and trans folks. She loved learning and, seeking out, discovering new things. She had gone from Texas to Portland and then in Phoenix. The sad reality is that her parents are dead. And so it probably falls to the community itself to celebrate her life and remember her in a fitting manner.
And this one hit me particularly hard because I do have friends in the Phoenix area. One particular one with very similar curly hair. So I know that she doesn't watch the show, at least not regularly. But just to think about the people in that area and how politically Arizona has been recently, to see that something like this that could have been an attack on a trans person, it's just hard to deal with. And there's more to this story, correct? At least
Correct.
the tie-in with not the tie-in, but the close timing with another incident.
Yeah, just days before, a trans man in Philadelphia, Marquis Jackson, had been discovered after having been reportedly hit multiple times with blunt force trauma to his head. Caelee, at the end of 2022, marked 37 known transgender individuals who had been killed through violent means. Now, not all of those were necessarily trans antagonistic attacks. Not all of those have been fully investigated, nor have they produced, not all of them have produced charges to be pressed. But as what we know right now, 37 identified transgender people died by violent means in 2022.
And that's 37 reported cases. A lot of times, cases aren't reported as happening to trans people because people are dead named or misgendered in the reports, and the fact that they're trans is not taken into account. So these aren't necessarily the complete numbers.
Right. And according to one research article we talked about a few months ago, the underreporting can be sometimes almost up to 50%.
So solemn news and a reminder of our need to be safe out there, and to make sure that we travel with friends, that when you go out, make sure that people know where you're going, and know where to find you. Just do what you can to be safe out there.